What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back. You know the man, Coach Mike James. You know the brand P&Z Life Coaching, and I want to thank you for coming back to the channel. I have another amazing, impactful conversations, and before we jump in, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to subscribe, like, comment, share anything that stands out to you. Tell a friend, tell your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles. Tell them about this channel and this amazing interview. So I am so excited because yet again, I have another dope interview. Y'all hear me talk often if you've been following my channel for a while about my Convoz fam. So over 10 on my Black Business Booming. I think this is maybe the second one on my Impactful Conversations, more to come. And I have another dope guest, literally. So sis, take a moment right now and introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
Hello, good morning. First, thank you so much for having me, Mike. I'm really excited to be here with you and have this conversation. My name is Brandice Taylor Davis. I am an artist, teacher, and entrepreneur based out of Brooklyn, New York. I have several things that I do. Excuse me. My biggest baby is I'm So Dope, which is a program in which I teach at-risk young adults through adults how to sew and make patterns so that they can have a chance to start their own fashion design business. In addition to that, I have a fashion label called Kanu Collection, where I sell African-inspired art, clothing, and accessories. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I'm also a sexual health educator. So I do a lot, but it all centers around the same thing, which is teaching.
That's awesome. So short and sweet, y'all. Brandice is dope. And this interview could have easily been Black Business Booming, but Impactful Conversations, we chose this route just because you have a lot going on and we want to definitely share and what brought you to this point. So let's dive right into it. So let's talk about all my Impactful Conversations. I always like to go back to the beginning. So let's talk about young Brandice. So talk about your background, like your early childhood or early life and upbringing, and kind of impactful things that stood out to you growing up.
So one of the most impactful things in my life was being a military brat. The second I would have to say is my grandmother, then my parents. I don't know. My grandmother was my best friend. She was like the dopest person to ever walk the face of this planet. So my parents, I'm no shade to them, but she outdid them. So yeah, I was born in California. And by the time that I was 3 years old, we were traveling around the world. I've lived in Italy. I went to preschool and kindergarten there. Then we moved over to North Dakota. I've lived in New Mexico, Connecticut. And then I went to college at FAMU in Tallahassee, Florida. Hold on. I'm sorry, I have to say this right
Here we
in
go.
case someone sees it. I attended the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida.
Let's go. Listen, FAMU in the house. I know some people I'm going to have to send this interview to when we post it, because when you said that, I'm like, okay, yeah. So that HBCU pride there, that's so awesome. So in thinking about the things that happened growing up and those impactful things and being a military brat, as an adult now, what does impact mean to you as an adult, and kind of some of the things that stood out growing up and what it means to you now as an adult? What is impact?
To me, I guess something having an impact on you, it could be positive or negative, but it's definitely something that I think it's a moment where you can say, this changes my thought process. This changes how I see and view the world, whether it is like positive or negative. But I think ultimately everything is positive. It's just really where your mindset ends up.
I
So
like that.
yeah, that's what impact means to me. I think some of the most like from being a military brat, that definitely impacted me in a lot of ways, right? Um, in some ways, I felt handicapped at, like for a while, right? And as far as I never had the same group of friends growing up, which is weird. It's not, that is not normal. And that is not like, I wouldn't put that on anybody's child, right? So,
Right.
um, however, that taught me how to be able to make friends quickly, how to understand different people. I can have a conversation with literally anyone about anything because I know and have come across so many people just by moving around from different places. So, as far as sales go, it was always really helpful in my various sales, even now, right, to be able to relate and identify with people based on their geographic location. So pretty much anyone who lives somewhere, I can tell them a story about the time that I was in their state, whether it was visiting or I know some of the local slang, right? Maybe it's from the 80s, but people still know what I'm talking about.
Right. Right. Still relevant.
Right. And so I think definitely it allowed me to be able to also I I was forced to like have a confidence, right? Because when you're like the new kid constantly, you don't want to be like bullied. You don't want to come in there and like, I don't know, just be bothered in school, right? So you got to go in there.
Right.
I know who I am. You're not going to bother me. You can't bully me. And not that I didn't have people try to bully me, but yeah, I can definitely see how that experience from my youth definitely is still paying off in dividends today. Um, so yeah, shout out to the military brats.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's interesting, right? Because from military child to military child, the experiences are different in terms of how they've, I guess, embodied them, but the story is the same. My wife too, is a military brat, so I always joke, about where she was born based off of where she tells people she's from, and so that part too of the friends thing is like, okay, I can't really get attached because I'm gone. Next thing you know, I'm somewhere else. So that's interesting to hear that, and definitely relate through it vicariously through my wife when I talk to someone else who was raised military. So you talked about everything kind of centering around being a teacher and an educator. So if you were to think of it or describe it, what would you say your mission in life is?
I think my mission in life is to show people the light within. And I know that sounds like
Mm,
really corny, uh, but I noticed at a very young age that a lot of people did not have the confidence that I had. And when I see people, most people, well, actually, when I see people, I see the goodness within them. I see sometimes even people who don't deserve it, right? That's why I hesitated because I was like, take me a second sometimes to
right.
to figure out, oh, wait, that's my parents used to say you look at the world through rose-colored glasses, right? And
Hmm.
that is a good thing. It is also can be a hindrance unless you
Oh
figure
yeah.
out how to find them till you got to take them off sometimes. So anyhow, when I look at people, I really see the goodness in them. I am definitely a potential seer. And throughout life, I have seen my friends and acquaintances tap in, the people who've listened to what I have said to them, right? And like actually tapped in, like, and just to see them finally realize, like, wait, I can do this. I could have done this all along, whatever it is. But even one young lady, I basically, I guess I coached her right all the way to the Grammys. She didn't win.
Nice.
She didn't win, but it started from the day we were in school, and she said to me, "I don't think I'm going to enter this contest." And I looked at her and I just felt in my spirit. I said, "Oh, you have to, because you're going to win." She did her late submission at the last minute, went home and recorded. She believed in herself enough to do that, right? And she won that contest, won the next contest, got a record deal, got all kind of stuff. So that's just one example, but it's the first one that I thought of today. And to see that is, it makes me feel good.
Yeah. Man, it's something about being attached in any way to someone else's success, even if like you cheered it on, like, come on, let's go. I want you to think about it. When you watch like competition shows, the many competition shows out there, and you have your favorite from the start and they go all the way, it's like you feel in your heart, like, yes, come on, let's do this. They don't even know you. But if they win, you're like, yes, we did that. So I think it's beautiful when you literally know someone, when you talk to them, when you sowed those seeds and imparted that wisdom or encouragement to them, and to see their journey and they keep going, man, it's something about that. And I encourage people all the time. It's like, a lot of times we're so focused on what's not going right for ourselves, um, that we can't even, we can't start that journey ourselves and love ourselves. And so we're no good to anybody else. Cause think about it. How you gonna celebrate somebody else and you're not even feeling good. So it's like once you start to do that and they start winning, it's like, yep, now I'm excited because it's gonna come back to me. It's enough out here for us all to win. So with your mission and how you impact people, you mentioned one thing earlier we were talking, and that was about sexual health education. So one of the ways that you are making an impact and that you are teaching, let's talk about pure romance. Tell me about that. This time, let people know what that is, what you do, your approach. Because I think here's the thing, people can do something, right? But I think it's when you bring your individual, uh, your sauce to it, it makes it just a whole nother thing. So even kind of early on, how we connected on Convoz and how I came across your page and everything. So tell people about pure romance.
So pure romance is, oh geez, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, the long and short of it is,
Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
oh gosh. So I'm a sexual health educator. I help married people stay married, single people stay happy, and all people stay safe and have a good and happy sex life, whether it's with a partner or by themselves. Um, how I got into pure romance, actually, after I had my daughter, I noticed that literally everyone started talking to me about sex, from my dad to my grandfather's wife to all kinds of elderly people. And I was like, wait, hold on. Is there like a club that when you have kids, people just start talking to you about sex?
Right.
Because I was like, wait, I don't understand. Because I guess once you have a kid, they know, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. They
The
know
secret
that
is
you're
out.
doing it. So I don't know what made them comfortable enough to bring it up to me. I don't know if everyone has this experience, but that was my experience. And I also, throughout my life, was the friend that people would go to if they had some type of question about sex or sexual health. And one of my girlfriends called me one day and asked me for a coaching session about how to do something specifically. So I coached her through the phone. She called me back the next day and she was like, oh my God, you need to teach a class. So that was a few years ago. And I never launched the class because I said to myself, right, like, oh, I grew up very conservatively. And so I'm like, I just don't want people to judge me. I don't want anyone to be talking about me. I don't want to give space for people to say blah, 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 whatever. And I realize now in hindsight that I should have just done it because people are going to talk about you anyway, whether you're doing the right thing or not. So I was doing I'm So Dope. And through Convoz, right, everyone's talking about multiple streams of income. And I'm So Dope, I was at a point that I felt safe enough to start venturing into something else. And I saw one of my good girlfriends posted that she made $1,000 in one night at a party. And I was like, where do I do that at? So okay, I sold Girl Scout cookies. I sold insurance, which is an intangible product, and I rocked out at selling insurance. So surely I can sell sex toys and some lube. And what I didn't know at the time was that I would also have an opportunity to teach people, right, how to have a fulfilling sex life. Every single time that I make a product recommendation to someone and they message me back, I feel amazing. It is a sense of joy, right? Because I'm like, these people aren't having boring sex anymore. They fixed this issue. They fixed this, they figured that out. And I think that being able to have an impact on people's life like that, because your sex life is so important. For your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. There are scientific studies that have proven that time and time again. There is a reason that they have baby huggers in the hospital. So if a child is born and they're orphaned at birth, they have people who will come to the hospital and hold the babies and do, I don't know about skin to skin contact, but the human touch is essential for survival. And it releases certain chemicals in your brain that help make you happy, help make you think straight, help make your heart strong. So there's so many positive benefits to having a healthy sex life. And so once I realized that is when I had the click through moment, like, I should have been doing this years ago. So as far as bringing my special sauce to the mix, I actually, there's so much training that was available, and I have a really great upline. Pure Romance is not an MLM, but we do have teams. Your upline does not have to help you. They don't have to train you. They just have to talk to you when you sign up and tell you where to find the training. But this girl is awesome. And so just watching her and observing her and looking at what she did and how she was successful. And one of the main things that she said was, you have to be yourself. And then I thought back to my insurance training. People buy from those that they like, know, and trust. Well,
Yep.
I already have people who like, know, and trust me from being myself. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. And I've been having a good amount of success. I would love to have some more. So if you would like to check out pureromance.com/Brandice and see if there's something there for you, that would be appreciated.
Yes, definitely. We're definitely encourage you to make sure we'll put any info that Brandice wants to share in the comments or in the description below. So make sure you connect with her. And it's amazing that you said finding that light within, right? Because as you talked about that, you lit up and that passion carries over. So you said that important thing, right? Know, like, and trust. So it's like, listen, man, when she's talking about that, I know for one thing, I like it and I can trust her because she's lighting up. Like I can tell she has a passion about what she's doing. I think that's the most important thing. And that's impact across the board when you have a passion for what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, and you talked about it, you brushed over it, but yeah, you've definitely had some success. It pushed you to being one of the top salesperson on your team, or how was that? I just remember that testimony a while back on Convoz.
Yeah. So I finished last year fourth on my team. This year, I'm still sorry, I get real emotional anyway. Um, yeah, this year I am struggling to finish in the top, but I always believe that, I mean, someone could hit me. I saw a girl the other day who a TV producer hit her up and placed a $600 order on her website. She did not know this person.
Mm.
They just found her and hit her up. So I strongly believe in manifestation. I still feel like I can finish number one. Maybe not number one. No, there's a lot of catching up.
Well, no, no. Listen. First of all, what we not gonna do
Oh,
is we ain't gonna backpedal because, like you said, manifesting, right? As I always say, you've heard me say this on Convos and different things, right? I tell people, don't fake it till you make it. When you fake it till you make it, you're being someone else. You're reaching for something that's not there. It's really not here, right? That head heart connection, that mind heart connection. But instead of faking it till you make it, manifest till you make it. Because when you manifest till you make it, you're seeing what you're going to do. I'm going to be number one. Not only that, you're writing it down. You're looking at the steps. You're watching the training. You're seeing what your upline is doing. I'm going to get there too. But then here's the big part of manifesting. The biggest part of it, it always reminds me of my 3 W's. You put in the work.
yes.
That's the difference between faking and manifesting. Manifest till you make it. So you're putting in the work. So listen, there are a lot of people watching. I ain't even looking at Brandice right now. I'm looking at you. There are people watching that you're bored and you're miserable and you don't know where to start and you don't want the infomercials and you don't want to tell anybody about it because folks all up in your business. But Brandice is here. The link's below. You know what to do. Let's make it happen. We're gonna manifest this thing. So now when we have another interview, you're gonna say, Mike, listen, let me tell you. So you know what to do. Click the link, reach out to Brandice. You see her approach and how the humility that you have in what you do, and just really your passion to want to unlock that light within. We know that people's sex life is one of the least talked about, most important things in your life. So listen, y'all know what to do. Hit my sis up. We gonna make this thing happen. So we ain't backtracking from the best.
Well, the number one salesperson's got like over 100,000 right now. That's why I was like, I can finish it. No, I'm telling you my
right.
brain started churning. Like, is this a realistic goal? But you know what?
Yeah.
I could wake up tomorrow morning and have $1 million from I don't know what, but it could happen. So
there you go. Exactly. It definitely can happen. And even before we started, you and I were just talking before we started the interview and about that mindset, right? and changing that mind and watching how things flow and manifesting, right? That's a big word that holds such a lot of weight, but sometimes people don't really think about what that means. And it's really the other part of that manifesting is the mindset of positivity. Like you have this automatic gate of negative. Like when those thoughts come, it's no cut off. When those, the little self-limiting beliefs and self-doubt and self-sabotage, nope, cut off. Imposter syndrome, nope, cut off. So that's what it's all about. Brandice,
I
what is next? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as to your point, as soon as, like, personally, as soon as I start thinking those thoughts, like, the reality is, like, people are like, oh, positive vibes only, blah 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 blah. Like, that's not realistic, right? Like, there are negative things that happen. We are humans who have emotions, right? But the thing is not getting stuck there. So I acknowledge my feelings, right? Like, this sucks. I hate this. And then behind that, I start thinking of everything that I'm grateful for, right? So I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I can think straight. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that my arms work. Like, even the bare minimal things, right? Like, I was sharing I hate my apartment for a multitude of reasons, but I'm grateful. It's raining right now. I am not sleeping outside. There is not water coming down on my head, and it is warm in here. I got electricity. I got a place to keep all my stuff. So even like, if you find even the most microscopic thing to start showing gratitude towards, like, that is the key to flipping your mindset. And also, gratitude is what accelerates manifestation.
Yes. An attitude of gratitude changes your altitude. I love it. Oh, man. Brandice, with all that you have going on, all that you do, all of the light that you bring to this world and the impact that you're making on a daily basis, what's next for you? What's next for Brandice?
What's next for me, I think, is it's totally off subject from anything that we've talked about, but I actually just started writing a script for a movie that I've had in my brain for years and years. And the other day, I have a minor in film, so which I received from the New School University, since I brought up the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. Anyway, so I have been sitting on this idea, and one thing that I have learned is, if you sit, ideas are energy, and if you sit on something for too long, it is going to go to somebody else. And I have seen a multitude of ideas that I have had, whether I shared them publicly or if it was just a thought that I had in my mind, that someone else was able to create or manifest into this world, because I didn't act on it. And so I just felt so strongly like, you know what? I need to do this. And I had been out, like, talking myself out of it. It's about September 11th. And it's a fictional story. But I just kept saying, like, I don't want to be insensitive to people. Is it insensitive to make a movie about this? Is it insensitive to make up a fake story line about this? And I decided, no, it's not. Because people tell whatever people say and tell whatever kind of stories that they want to tell. And at the end of the day, if people can't see the beauty and the message that of the story that I want to tell. So I've been doing a lot of research about September 11th and looking up witness accounts so that I'm telling an accurate story within my fiction.
Right.
So yeah, historical fiction exists and it's history now, right? So it is a Black love story.
That's what's up.
September 11th. Yeah.
Wow. So you're in New York now, sis, but where were you in 2001? Where were you then?
I was in Tallahassee.
Okay,
Uh
gotcha.
yeah, I remember it. I think that changed. That was traumatic for everyone who witnessed it. And
Mhm.
I think the closer that you were, the more traumatic it was, right? They actually did as I was doing my research, they did a study of like PTSD and anxiety and depression based on miles, like distance from ground zero. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I think anyone who saw it around the world, even, but specifically in the United States, for sure, that was traumatic to see. And I think it that day changed life as we know it.
Mhm.
Um, it literally it changed the way that we can go into buildings, the way we can fly on airplanes, the way we need ID for stuff now. You can't go in the airport with
Right.
your friend to say goodbye to them. And not that those are, and then also there's like other stuff like the Patriot Act or whatever, but not to start getting all political, but like that changed our lives in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
And when I moved to New York, 10 years after, well, it was 9 years after, because I moved here in 2010, there was still a giant hole in the ground there.
Hmm.
And it was still, I lived down the street. I think maybe it was three blocks up the street from ground zero where my dorm was. And so seeing that space became a part of my daily life. Um, and I think that even though I didn't have the experience of being there, right, it's still a part of my life, and I still feel like I have something to say about that. So that's what I'm working on. Now I'm still selling my pure romance. I'm still figuring out ways to. I can't wait for everything to for us to find a new normal so that I can go back to teaching sewing. Um, yeah, that is really what's going on. I'm sure it'll take me a while to write this, but that's my little side project while I'm trying to get to the money.
That's what's up. I don't know. It's something about the fact that you're in New York. We're within a week of the actual date, and the different documentaries and things are still going on now again because we're within 7 days of that. So seeing all that and you bringing that to the table and just sharing your experience, I think that's almost like I guess confirmation, that you're on the right track. So that's beautiful. That's super dope. As always, everyone who I talk to and interview, I really mean this when I said I look forward to what you're going to do, because it's not just everybody who I reach out to or connect to, even looking back, some that maybe they thought they didn't have a lot to bring to the table. The things they're doing now, it's amazing. So, kind of like that story you told of that friend that went all the way to the Grammys. It's like, man, I'm just excited hearing that. When I see those credits roll and I see your name, I'll be like, that's my sis. And we talked about it. We talked about it in September of 2021. So that's what's up. I look, Brandice, as always, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you for doing this. I want you to take opportunity, let people know how they can find you, what social medias you want to give, anything, any other information that you want to leave the people who are watching with. Your time, just let us know.
So you can find me on Convoz. My handle there is Brandice is dope, which is also the handle for my personal IG if you care to know about my day-to-day life. Um, my pure romance Instagram is, oh, and also that's my TikTok too. Brandice is dope across most platforms. And you can also find me on Instagram under XXOO Brandice for my pure romance page. If you are a woman over 18, if you identify as a woman over 18, I have a VIP Facebook group where basically a lot of my teaching goes down, etc. So if you find me on Instagram, just shoot me a note and I will get you in the group. Um, we we have a great time over there. We laugh, we joke, I teach, we learn about our bodies and ourselves. We vent in there. It's a little community that I'm proud to be building. So, and it's a safe space by demand and default. People have gotten kicked out. So,
Look, when you said that, you went from the joy to serious. It's by demand and default. People, I love it. I love it. That's what's up. So again, everybody watching, make sure you look in the description, find the ways you connect with Brandice. Brandice, thank you for this. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. When you all see this, it'll be a little bit later than when we recorded this. We are up at the crack of dawn recording this, getting it in. So Brandice, I appreciate you, and I look forward to all the amazing things that you are doing and the impact that you're making on this world and for shedding your light, man. I really do appreciate it.
well, thank you, Mike. And you're really talking to yourself right now because all the stuff you're saying to me is exactly what's true about you. So,
Look, what you're not going to do is make me cry because I'm an emotional little dude. But
well,
thank
you
you.
know,
Thank you.
everyone, we're all reflections of each other, right? We're all reflections. And I say this time and time again, even if there's something that you don't like about somebody, it's probably reflecting back something that you don't like about yourself. You need to dig a little deep. Um,
Yes. So
but I
true.
feel like in a space like this, like we're just totally mirroring the beauty that's within us. And so I appreciate you for that this morning, Mike.
No doubt. You are super welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody who's watched this interview. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell someone about it, and let us know. Drop something in the comments that stood out to you. Let us know how you can use what Brandice talked about. And yeah, as always, if you know someone that can, that's having an impactful impact on the community that has a story, let me know. I would love to talk to them. Thank you for your time and watching, and we'll see y'all next time on another impactful conversation. Peace.